Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to create a simple app using Laravel. Laravel is a popular PHP framework known for its elegant syntax and robust features, making web development a more enjoyable and efficient process. So this video will guide you through creating a simple web application using Laravel, covering the basics from setup to displaying data. Before you begin, ensure you have the uh, important requirements installed in your system. First, you have PHP version 8.1 or higher. You can check it with php-v command, and also you need to have a composer, which is a dependency manager for PHP, and of course a database system, MySQL, SQLite, or another database supported by Laravel, a web server, Apache, or um, other development servers, and also a text editor like VS Code, Sublime Text, or PHP Storm. And so I have already installed here Champ. So if you have not installed it yet, then you can install Champ before we start with Laravel. And after Champ, you need to also install Composer. So you can search Composer, and if you are using Windows, then you have to download the installer for Windows. You can you can click Composer from getcomposer.org. There's a download link here, and just install the Composer setup and follow you can just run the installer, and then um, just follow uh, the uh, the the um, the chosen installation options. For example, for most users, you'll have to install for all users, and also the installer will also try to detect your PHP installation. So if you already installed Champ, then it will automatically uh, detect where the PHP is installed. If you're using Champ, it will be at drive C champ php /php.exe, and after you install, you can open a new command, a cmd, open a command prompt, and type composer-v, and then press enter. So you should see that the version of your composer. Once you install composer, you can type again composer dash v, and you will see the version number of your composer. Here you can see the composer version installed here is 2.8.9. So after installing composer, we will now install Laravel. First, let's create a new Laravel project. Open your CMD or your terminal or command prompt, and run the following command: composer create project Laravel /Laravel my simple app. So make sure that you are when you type this command, you are in the right directory, or if you are using Champ, then make sure you are in the htdocs directory. So since I'm not yet in the htdocs, I have to go to, first I'll have to go change the directory to champ and change directory to htdocs. And then here I am already in htdocs, so we can type in the composer command to create the project. Composer create project LARAVEL / LARAVEL my simple app. So this will be the name. The simple app will be the name of your uh, desired project name. Replace my simple app with your desired project name. And this command will download Laravel and all its dependencies into a new directory with that name. So let's enter, and here we see creating a Laravel project. So it's now installing Laravel to our htdocs directory. Now we are done with the creation of the project and the downloading of Laravel. Now we have to open our directory using cd my simple app. Next is we're going to configure our environment. So Laravel uses .env file for environment specific configurations. A .env that example file is automatically created. So if we open our files, in we have in htdocs, the my simple app will be created, this one. And if we open this, there will be the this will be the directory of our project, and we will open this in VS Code. So we'll add the folder to the current workspace, and let's add the my simple app. So when this my simple app is opened, you can see that there is that .env, that example file that is automatically created, and we should copy this to the .env. So if it's not yet copied, we can copy it using the command cp .env .example .env. So it will basically copy the contents of .env .example to So it should be cp.env.example.env. So now we have to open that env file, and uh, this is the most crucial part to configure for a simple app, which includes the database connection. So if you're using MySQL, it will look something like this. We have to change this DB connection to MySQL, and the DB host should be 127.0.1, DB port 3306, DB database. This will be the name of our database. So let's name our database my simple app underscore DB, and the DB username is root, and the DB password is none. So you are going to change this based on your database name, your database username, and your database password. So we are going to save our env file, and next is we are going to create our database my simple app DB using php myadmin. So let's click new and create the database my simple app underscore DB. Next, we are going to generate an application key. So this key is used for encryption, and it also keeps your user sessions secure. So to generate key, we will be using the command php artisan key generate. Now we have application key set successfully. Next step is we are going to run migrations. LARAVEL migration system allows you to define your database schema using PHP code. By default, LARAVEL includes migrations for users and password reset tokens tables. So to run these migrations and create the tables in your database, we execute php artisan migrate. Again, if you look at the file here, the migrations are in our database directory migrations. When the first time we created the Laravel and it was downloaded, these migrations are created. Those three: create users table, create cache table, and create jobs table. So these are default by Laravel, and in order for these migrations to run and add these tables in the database, we will be using this command php artisan migrate. So it run the migrations. You should see the output indicating that the tables were created successfully. And if we open our database, we should now see that the tables were being created. So next is we are going to start the development server. Laravel comes with a built-in development server, which is perfect for local development. So we start it by using the command php artisan serve. So we are now running on 127.0.0.1 colon 8000. You can open that in our browser 127.0.0.1 colon 8000, or you can also use localhost colon 8000. So it's just the same, will give us the same output using localhost or directly using the 127.0.0.1. So we can see here the uh, default the default Laravel welcome page. Next is we're going to create a simple route and view. So we will be creating a custom page because this is not the page that we want to display in our app. So we are going to open routes web.php. So in the routes directory, there is the web.php. So this file defines all your web routes. You'll see here an existing route for the welcome page. So this route will be responsible for responding to the URL that the user is requesting. So if we have this URL here, it points to to the um, the slash route, and that is why we respond with the get slash, and here we have the function, a closure function that returns the view, which is the welcome view. So we will add here a new route, and let's add the route get hello to demonstrate how will our function, how will our application respond to slash hello. We will return here hello Laravel app. Save the file. Now if you visit localhost slash colon 8000 slash hello, then our route will respond to this using the return statement hello Laravel app. It will return here, we return a text rather than a view. So if we visit slash hello in the browser, we should see hello Laravel app. However, we see here that there is an error in our code, so there is a missing semicolon in our route. So we see here the returned value in using the slash hello in our browser. It returns the text hello Laravel app. So this demonstrates a basic route that returns a string directly. Now, returning a simple string isn't very dynamic, so let's return a proper view. So first, we create a new blade view file. So all our views are saved in the resources directory, and we have the views directory inside it. So we will be creating a new file here. New file, save as. Make sure you are in the resources, views, directory, and we'll name this as hello.blade.php. So Blade is what we will be using for our views. Blade is a Laravel's powerful templating engine. So save this, and inside hello blade.php we will add some HTML. So I will be providing you a copy of the sample HTML, so you will not start from scratch. So this is our HTML. It basically has the hello app title, a style of the body, the container, the h1, the paragraph, and in the body you have the div container and a heading, an h1 that says welcome to my simple Laravel app, and the paragraph that says this is a custom page created using Laravel. Let's save this. Now let's modify our route in web.php. Instead of a static text, we will return a view, which is what we just created a while ago. And the view's name is hello because its file name is hello.blade.php. So save, and we are going to test again using /hello. We should see now the view of our hello view, which has the heading and the paragraph. Next is we're going to pass data to a view. So we often need to pass data from your application logic to your views. So we're going to show that how to pass, let's say, a name to our hello view. So we're going to modify our route first. Let's open again the web.php. So this is our route web.php, and let's add a variable that we want to pass to our view hello. So in the hello route, we are going to create a variable called name, and its value is world, and let's return the view hello and also pass as well the variable, which is the name. So this is how you're going to pass some variable to your view. And we can also pass dynamic data from the URL using this example, route get. Let's say the URL is greet. Let us revise this one. This is /hello, and then for the greet we can have a dynamic data using the curly braces. So this will uh, this will be like a wild card for any values that we can pass to greet, and that will be the value of the name. So next is we have the function, and make sure that we assign the value of the variable, or the we assign the variable, and we return the view, which is the hello, and of course pass the variable name. Let's save, and also update our view hello blade.php to display the data using Blade's echo syntax. So instead of having this um, hello to, or welcome to my simple Laravel app, we will add a hello here, a greeting to the based on the value of the name. So we will have, for example, h1 and hello, comma, then we will be using the curly braces to display the value of the variable name. And we end this with a bang and the end of h1. So you should see that there will be a hello, and concatenated that with the value of the name and then the character. Let's save this, and of course we visit slash hello here and refresh. We should see that the name is hello world because of the route, because in our route we assign the name to be world with a bang. Now if we change the URL to greet, if we visit, for example, slash greet and then slash the name is Michelle, then it will say hello Michelle. Or this one again, as we've said a while ago, is dynamic. You can also change that to John, so it will also respond to the value of the name. So next is you're going to use controllers using the MVC pattern. For more complex logic, it's best practice to really use controllers. And controllers handle incoming requests and process them, and also return a response. And usually the response is a view. So let's create a controller in Laravel. We create controller using the command. In the terminal, going back to the terminal, let's press Ctrl C to end the server, and we are going to enter PHP artisan make controller, and the name of the controller here will be greeting controller. So in this example, the name of our controller is greeting controller, and this will create a new file at the app directory http controllers. So this file greeting controller.php is created successfully. You can see here in the app http controllers, you could see the greeting controller being created. Next is we are going to add a method to the controller. Let's open the controller. It has the following commands or statements, and the class controller, the class greeting controller, which extends controller. We will be adding a method which is a public function show. Public function show name is equals to guest. Here we return a view. Again, we will be returning hello, and as well as the variable name. Save, and next we update our routes. So we'll modify web.php. Here, to use the new controller, we have to make sure that we import the controller. So you have to add here, every time we use a controller, you have to add or import the controller using the use command. So it's in the app folder, http controllers, and the name of the controller is greeting controller. Next is we will be changing our hello route. So using the controller, instead of having this, we will be changing it to greeting. This one will become greeting controller. Class is showed. And with this, with the closing parenthesis, and that's our that this is now our updated route. For the slash hello, instead of returning a function, we will be using the controller to respond to the hello URL. And also the greet name, we will also change this. Instead of a function, we will be just simply calling the greeting controller. And again, the function name is show. Now let's save, and visiting localhost hello. In our browser. This will still work the same way as before, but the logic is now organized within a controller. So it's the same. However, we forgot to run the server. So again, let's run php artisan serve before we can see our result here. You need to run php artisan serve. So here we have a syntax error unexpected identifier view because we misspelled our command here um, in our controller. There is this return wrong spelling of return. So let's save that again and refresh. So we see the same result, and even if we use hello or the greet also, using the greet URL. So if we use the slash hello or the slash greet, they will still work the same way. So next is we are going um, to interact with the database. So let's create a simple task list application to demonstrate basic database interaction. So first, we will create a model and in migration. So every time you have a table that has to be created in your database, you need to first create the model. And to create a model, we use the command. So again, the model represents the table in your database, and a migration defines the table structure. So when we create a model, a migration will be created also, but we have um, to customize the migration according to the table structure that we want for the table. So again, going back to our terminal, we will be creating our model. So let's stop our server. Again, Control C to stop the server. And so we can type in PHP artisan make model. So this time, we will be creating a table in our database. The name of the table is task. So we will create a task model. We will name our model based on our table. So here, the name is task, and of course, also include the migration. So we use dash m. Enter the command. So this command creates two files. It will create the app models task .php, and also it will create the migration file. So if we look at our file here, we can see that the models, under the models, the new task model is created. User was here before, and now we have created this task is the new model that we just created, and also the migration is added here. There's a new migration created for the tasks table. So we will be modifying the task table. So we define the migration schema by opening this file, the migration file of create task table. We will be, this migration is already created and it defines the structure of the table. So here in the app function, the schema is created, and the schema to be created is the task. So this will be the table that has to be added in your database, and this will also create an ID column, or this will be your primary key, in the tasks table, and also it will also add the timestamps, which creates a column for created and updated. So we will see later what this timestamps will result to, but for now we will add new columns in our tasks table. So we will add the table string name. This will be the name of the task, because our app here, our simple app um, is about uh, managing tasks, or adding simple tasks. So we will be creating the task table for that. We have a name for the task, and also we will create another column, which is a boolean property, and we'll name it is completed. This will be the status of the task, whether the task is completed or not. And we will set a default value of this property. The default will be false. So every time the user adds a new task, then the default status of that task is not completed. So that is why its default is false. So let's comment this as the task status. And we also have here the down function. This will be used for reversing the migration, or it will simply delete the table using the drop if exists. So again, this Laravel migration file specifically is the core logic within the migration class, and it defines how to create the database table. In this case, we are creating the task table, and also the down is for the drop, for the dropping of the table. So migrations are Laravel's way of managing database schema changes. So they allow you to version control your database structure, making it easy to share schema changes among team members and deploy updates reliably. So the app method creates the table. It's the most important part of the migration, and it defines the actions that should be taken when you run or apply the migration, typically using the command php artisan migrate. And the down method, it reverts the migration. It defines the actions that should be taken when you roll back the migration. That is, if you run php artisan migrate colon rollback. So the purpose of the down method is to reverse their operations performed in the app method. So next is we are going, after setting here the the structure of our tasks table, we will run this migration, and the migration will automatically create the tasks table in your database. So after modifying the migration, let's run php artisan migrate. So once it's done, you can see here in our database that the new table tasks is created. Here is the tasks table, and if we look at its structure, we can see that it has the following columns: ID, the string name, the boolean is completed, and the timestamp created at and updated at. Now, we will update the task model next. So let's open the model the task model, and we will be using the has factory. So use illuminate database eloquent factories has factory, and we'll also use has factory and use protected fillable equals name and is completed. Save the file. So when you build an app, you need data to test it. And if you're building a let's say any platform or app, you need fake, yeah, like fake data to see if your pages are working correctly or displaying correctly. So manually creating this data in your database can be slow and repetitive. So in Laravel, it provides a neat way to automatically create fake but realistic data using what we call the model factories. So that is why we use the has factory here. So the has factory, its purpose is for us to see, for us to see like fake data. So it's the has factory is essentially a small piece of code that Laravel provides, which adds special functionality to your models. So think of it like adding a new powerful button to your car's dashboard. When you see this line in Laravel model, uh, use illuminate database eloquent factories has factory, and the line with use has factory, it means you are telling Laravel that this model can now use the built-in factory features. And what has factory does for you is it the Laravel automatically gives that model a new easy to use method called factory. And the factory method is the magic button that allows you to generate fake data. So without has factory, if you don't have a has factory, then it will be a longer code for you to you really have to manually find and use the factory class to create to when you when you create fake data. So if you use has factory, then you will just simply uh, use you will just use very short line of code. So in simple terms, has factory is the glue that connects your model to a model factory and allows you to quickly and easily create dummy data for that model and using a simple readable syntax. So next step is we will be creating a task controller. So you now have a model, the task model, and you now have the task table in your database. Next is you have to create your task controller. So to create the controller, we have again to use the command. Let's go back to our terminal and type in php artisan make controller task controller dash dash resource. So the resource flag here will generate a controller with methods that are very used, commonly used for CRUD, or for the create, read, update, and delete operations. Next is we are going to update our routes in our web.php. In routes, we will replace our existing routes with the resource route for the tasks. So we are going to add here a route to our tasks. This time we'll be using the resource because there are a lot of functions in our task, and it has um, the it uses CRUD operations. So we will now be using resource this time. So this single line generates routes. This one generates this single line generates routes for the index, create, store, show, edit, update, and destroy actions of your class. Before, we use the get and we specify the functions, but this time using the resource, you don't need to specify the function, because the task controller that we just created here automatically creates all of the functions that are necessary for the CRUD operation. We have the index for reading, create for adding, store for saving, show for displaying a specific data, and for editing, for updating, and also destroy for deleting. So all of these functions will be processed using the resource in our route. So we have here, we use now the route resource, the one that is the routes for all of those actions for the tasks, for the index, create, store, show, edit, update, and destroy actions of the tasks. Next is we are going to implement, now going back to our routes, the task controller. And here in our index method, this index will basically display, its responsibility is to display the task. Or in the CRUD operation, this is the read, um, the read operation. It will display, this will display our task. So of course you have to, do not forget, we need to import the task model here at the top. So use app models task model, and then in our index we have to add the following: tasks equals to task all. So this one simple line will retrieve all tasks from the database. So this is a a function that is equivalent to your query of the select statement. So it is just a short statement rather than using the SQL statement. So it will retrieve all tasks from the database, and after retrieving the data, it will display the view tasks that index, and also pass the tasks, the values that came from the query here. So the tasks all is a query that gets all the data from your tasks table. So next is we are going to also update our store method. Our store method is the one that is used to save a new task. So if there's a new task to be added in the application, then the store method will eventually save that new task. So we are just going to copy and paste this one. Here we have a validation first of the data. So the name has to be a maximum of 25. And then we have the command create. So here the create is equivalent to the query of the insert statement in your SQL before. So this will add the name based on the requested name that has that is passed to the store method, and also the is completed by default is false. And then after saving the data to the database, the function will return or redirect you to the route of the index, which is this route, eventually this function, and also with a success message which says that the task is created successfully. So we also need to update the create method. So we are going to return a view. So this is simply displaying, right? Displaying the adding form. So we we will be creating a view called tasks that create. Of course, we haven't created this views yet. So we already sent here. We already assigned the task that index view, the tasks that create view, and also that's it. Tasks that index view and tasks that create view. So we will be creating those views. So again, we create a new directory. First is we have in our views directory, we will create a new folder here called tasks. And inside this task, we will add a new file called index.blade.php. And also we will create the create.blade.php. So those two views are what we have returned here in our index function as well as in the create function. So index returns the index view in the tasks folder, and the create returns the create view of the tasks folder. So let's add our index form or our index view here using an HTML to display simply all the tasks list. So this is the index page. Of course, it will display all the tasks, and we have here an if statement. Here in Blade, we use this syntax for if and if. If you have an if, you have to end it with an end if. So here we simply have a session. This will basically test if the session is successful. Then there is a div that will be displayed with an alert using the alert class of Bootstrap, and it will display the success message. And if there's no session yet, then it will just simply display the button add new task, which will redirect you to the tasks that create. And also, if the task is empty, then it will display a paragraph, no tasks yet, or why not add one. Else, if there is some tasks in your table, then it will display a UL with a list group in a list group format. And for each tasks in your database, it will add a list item with the class of list group item. This is just for the formatting of your page of the lists. And then it will display the name of the task. This is, if you can remember, this is the name that we assign to the name of the task. So the name of the task will be displayed here. And also, we have an if statement. If the value of is completed is true, then it will display completed. Otherwise, it will display pending. So by default, because the default value of is completed is false, then it should display pending. So let's save this. And for the next is for the create view, we will be adding this one, another HTML to display the create form. So the create form is displayed once the user clicks on the add new task. So this one is simply the form for adding new task. And there is an if and if here, if errors, if there are any errors. This error here is simply um, a blades a blade function that we can use if there are any errors. And also, we will display if there are errors, we will display this div with an alert format. And using this in Bootstrap, it will display a box that is in color red. And then there is a for each, for all errors, it will display the error. But if no errors, then it will display the um, the form, which redirects the action to tasks that store. Remember, the task that store is the one that will insert the task to the database. And that we have here a CRF for checking for cross-site reference, and also for security purposes of our input. So we have here the label for task name, the input text field for the name, where the user enters the name of the task, and the save button. And of course, a link to go back to the list, which redirects you to the index function of your task. So that's it for your index and blade. And let's check the result by going again to PHP Artisan serve, going back to our application using the slash task route tasks. So we have here an error, target class in task controller does not exist. So maybe we have again another typo error here. So let's check in our routes. We have the task controller. Okay, we use the task controller, but make sure that we really also import the controller. So here we see now the index view. So it has the my task list, the add new button, and the no task yet, why not add one, and click on add new task. It will display the create form, as you can see, and or the create view. So we can add a new task. Let's say get admin approval task, save, and it should display now. Redirect to It should redirect to our index, which displays the task and the pending status, and a message of task created successfully. Let's add a new task. Of, let's say, print the forms. So we have added all of this, and those are also added to our database. So next to this is we need to implement the edit, of course, the edit and the delete. So what we're going to do is to add we'll be adding views, right? Or we will update this index page, and we'll add links to view, edit, and delete here. So we will update our task controller, and locate the show, here, show the form. This show is for rather displaying the specified resource. So if we want one specific data to be displayed, we will click on we will add a link here to view the detail of this data. Then that will be the responsibility of the show method. So we will have to add here a return statement, return view, tasks that show, and also pass this is how we're going to pass the data, which is that task. And here what we are going to show is the task itself. Next is we will create the show, because we are going to display the show view. So we will create another view here in our tasks folder. Let's create a new view which is called show.blade.php. So we'll create another HTML code here. So this will basically just display the detail of the specific task. So it will be displaying the task and the name of the task, the status. If it's completed, it will display completed. Otherwise, it will display pending. And there is also the created at and the last updated at, and the back to list link, and the edit task link, which will redirect to the edit. And here in the edit, we are going to pass the ID specific to that particular task. So let's save this and let's test the show task here. Make sure that the server is running. So we will going to add a slash, let's say 1. So 1 is the ID of uh, 1 is the ID of the get admin approval task. So it should display the task get admin approval. And the second is print forms. The ID of that is 2. So you replace the 1 or 2 with the ID of the task in your database to view the details of the single task. So next is we'll implement the edit and update. So the edit method displays a form to modify the existing task, and the update method processes the form submission. So we are going to go to um, the edit task in our task controller. So like the show and the edit method, or like the show, this edit method has to accept the task instance via the route model, just the same as our show. So we're going to add here in the edit. The edit will simply display, right, the form for editing, but of course it needs the task, this because we are editing the specific task. So we are displaying the edit view, and of course we will send the task specific to that particular task that we want to edit. And next is let's create the edit view, because this is we haven't created the edit view. So again, in our tasks view, let's add a new file, edit.blade.php. So this is the edit form, and let's add an HTML for the edit form. It will simply display the controls, right, for the edit. You have the heading, edit task, and then the name of the task. Then there's an error message, and then the form simply displaying. Of course, this is because there is an input, you have to really use the CRSF for security. And then we also have to add at method put, then the name of the task at the top as a label, and also we have to send the old value of the name from the task name. And also we will add the task is completed. So if its value is true, then it has the checkbox will be checked. If not, it will not be checked. Then the label is mark as completed. And then we also have an update button and a cancel button. So let's save this, and let's implement the update also in let's see the edit task. Okay, the edit task, it should show our edit form, right? So this is the edit form. There's the edit task, the task name, the name of the task, and the mark is completed, and then update task. So we haven't implemented the function for the update, so this will not work yet. So we will going to change the update next. In our controller, the update will process the update button. So here is the update function that will respond to the update button. So the method handles the form submission, and it will also validate the input and update the task in the database. So we are going to add another validation. Uh, let's just copy this one. First, let's change this to task. The same as edit and show. It has to be a specific um, task, and paste this one. We have request validate for validating the data. The name has to be of maximum of 25, is completed, can be null, and its value is boolean. This is for checkbox handling. And also for the task update, this will be for updating, right? Um, this will update the database. Okay, so the name will be updated based on the user input, and also the is completed will be depending on the value of the is completed here, whether it's checked or not. If it's checked, then the is completed in the database will have a value of true. If this is unchecked, then the value is false. Then, after updating in the database, it will display the index, which will display all the tasks with a message, task updated successfully. So let's save this. Now we have an update function. Next is we are going to implement the delete. So we add the following task delete to our simply task delete destroy to our destroy. Where is the okay, going back, let's go back to our controller. For the delete, for to implement delete, we have the following commands. Okay, let's add the task here as a specific task, and the task will be deleted. That specific task selected the ID, that will be the one to be deleted. And then after deleting in the database, the it will be redirected to the index task with the success task deleted successfully. So let's save this. And the next is we will add the delete functionality to the index view. We will add the delete button to our task list because deleting requires delete HTTP request. So we must use a small form for the delete button, including the at method delete directive and a CSRF token. So we will go back to our index view, and then we will modify the li because we have we have here, this one is the section that displays the task, each task, and then after each task we will display the buttons. So if the task is empty, for example, then it will display no task yet, and then after the for each, we will display the li, and then we'll also add deflex justifies content between. So this is just for formatting using bootstrap. Align items center. And then let's add a div so we can group the task, right? And then the task name, if task is completed, we add the completed and the pending. Then we end it with a div. So we can separate our buttons for the edit and delete. So we will add a new div here for the edit and delete. So the class will be etn group and role equals to. And then of course the our link for view. This will be a link to. Now the link here in Laravel looks like this now. Links, it should link to the route. And let's add a class using Bootstrap. This is for the view. Let's save and check in the index. That's a task. That's the task. So you now have the view button. Let's copy that for the edit button. This will be tasks that edit. Again, we are passing the ID to the edit form. So the same class, this one is edit. And for the delete, we will be adding a form for the delete because deleting is uses the delete method or delete HTTP, and also it uses a CSRF token. So for the delete, we have to use a form. So this one is for the delete. For the delete, this one. Okay, for our delete. For the delete, we use the form, action, route, tasks, destroy, task ID, and method is post on submit. We need to display, are you sure you want to delete this task? And SRF for security purposes, and then we have to use at method delete. Then the button for the delete. Let's save this. Then we should see now the three buttons for the view, edit, as well as for the delete. Now you can see the edit, the view, edit, and delete. Let's check the view if it's working. So the view is processed by the show function, and then there's a back to list or edit task. So for the edit, you have, let's check, mark as complete, update, task updated successfully, and this is completed, updated as completed. Then delete the other one. Are you sure you want to delete? Okay. That then we have a message, task deleted, complete successfully. So congratulations, you now have implemented a full CRUD application using Laravel, and this covers the create, read, update, and delete operations with the eloquent models, the controllers, and the resource routes.